What up, guys? Kevin here. Just beat Trails into Reverie, so I'm going to review it. It's what I like to do after I beat games. And yeah, Trails into Reverie. What can I say about Trails into Reverie? Is it the best Trails game? It really might be. It really might be the best Trails game. I think it's 1,000 times better than Trails of Cold Steel 4. I like Trails of Cold Steel 4, but holy cow. They did it. This was like a makeover or makeup for Trails of Cold Steel 4. The issue with Trails of Cold Steel 4 with me was like every cutscene had 20 characters and they all had to get in their 2 cents. They all had to say a line and it was kind of annoying. Here, they did it perfectly. They even added more characters. Characters, I'm like, whoa. I'm glad I played all the games before. Well, I didn't play Sky 2 and 3, but this game is great. This is a great payoff game if you have played all the games. What a treat. So the reason why this game works is they divided it up into 3 different routes. You got Reen's route from the Cold Steel games. You got Lloyd's route from the Crossbell games. And now you got this person named C. And I've heard reviewers say C was their least favorite. I'm coming out saying C was my favorite route. C was my favorite route. Every time I got to play C, I think I was a little bit happier and excited. Lloyd and Reen's, they were both tied in second. They kind of felt similar in a way, whereas C's felt like really stood out just because there's a lot of mystery. Who's this C person? Who are these kids? I didn't read the book. I didn't read the 200-page book. But you do find out who C is. And little tiny spoiler, I'm not going to tell you who C is, but it is a person that you know if you played the games. And I did not like this person. I did not like this person at all. At all. But this game, that's the power of Trails games. You know, I do have an issue that, like, all right, you know, anyone who's good can be bad. Anyone who's bad can become good. And they did it again here. And they made me like the C character so much. I didn't think it was possible. It is one of the best written characters in the Trail series. Up until this point, I didn't care for him. Trails into Reverie, I'm like, yes. Yes. I'm putting C up there along with the Estelles and the Lloyds and the Reens as like a main character. Which is crazy. Which is absolutely crazy. I almost knew who it was. I was off by, I don't want to say without spoiling it, but I came really damn close. I came really damn close, at least in terms of looks of the person. But Trails into Reverie, why is this game so good? It's a Trails game, duh. They do continue the story. The ending of this game was amazing. Just way it followed up on what happened into Trails of Cold Steel 4 and how that ended. And I don't want to spoil that either, but I thought that was a little effed out, you know, a lot of, you know, AI and clones and different dimensions or whatever, multiverses. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. But here it works for me. And a lot of it's just the ride. It's all about the ride. Sometimes the story I don't really care for, but it's about the ride. It's about hanging out with these characters. I would say that's what I love about Trails the most is these characters. I just love being around them. It's just so much fun. And you do get to hang out with a lot of them. Now, there is the Reverie Corridor, which is like the old schoolhouse, which I thought we would spend a little bit more time in. There's like 4 different times you go in there. And I think there's some endgame content there as well I need to do. And I'll do that because I got a week now until Starfield comes out. But it's a great way to play with different characters. The game does a great job with making you use all the characters in the game. And the Reverie Corridor is a great place where you can get new weapons and level everybody up. So you're overwhelmed, but you're not overwhelmed like, oh my God, I got to level up all these characters. At the end, I did have some characters that were like 20 levels higher, 20, 30 levels higher than some characters, but it all worked out. A little bit of a gotcha. You get these like orbs, which you can turn in, and you get like items, you get like costumes. You even unlock characters. I unlocked Angelica. And then in the Reverie, she went and sat down with Crow, Toa, and George. I'm like, oh, the gang's back. The Breakfast Club is back. Oh, I love that group. Oh, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. And what was funny is then in the other, I did buy it on PS5, and I unlocked Roselia, and she sat with all the all the witch weirdos. Very cool, very cool. I can't wait to go back into the Reverie and unlock more stuff. What's really cool is they have these things called daydreams that you unlock. Daydreams are just little short stories that have nothing to do with the game, but they do allude back to previous games. It's kind of like the in-between of like, all right, what happened after this event with this character and this character? Prince Oliver. We know what happens at the end of Cold Steel 4, but there's a great daydream, little side story with him where he he wants to do like a reenactment of the contest that from like Sky 1, first chapter. He wants that for his little treat, his little gift to himself. So you got to fight like Arios and you see Cassius Bright and all of them. It's awesome. The game does a great job of just like, hey, let's just throw all this random stuff together so you get to hang out with these characters. Is it silly? Does it make sense? A lot of times not, but you're there for the ride, and it's an awesome ride. A lot of side games or mini games. It's just so much to do. It's just, again, it's supposed to be a fun, relaxing game. And the story is really good, though. What else? Let me get to my issues with the game. Let me get to my issues. One of my biggest issues are the corridors. The corridors. It's the same, just boring-ass corridors when you're going and doing your combat to get to the boss. And they really got to do something. They really got to do something. Like, if I'm giving this game a 10, just the hallways, the boring, mundane-looking hallways, probably would drop it down like a half a point or even a full point. It needs to be fixed. And they have to stop doing the crazy long endgame dungeon. Like every Trails game, I think it's just a Nihon Falcon. Like the last dungeon takes forever. Forever. I don't know if this was the longest. I did fight every enemy. So maybe that's on me, but still. Still, I fought every enemy before that. And it felt like things were too long. Just something about Trails games in the last dungeon. When you get to the final chapter of the last dungeon, just know it's going to take forever. And I knew that going in, but still. I'm like, they're never going to learn. They're never going to learn. Not only that, there was, I think, about 3 times where it was just cutscene, fight, cutscene, fight, especially towards the end, where I'm like, dude, I gotta go, and I need to save it. At least at the end, there was like about halfway through, the many cutscenes and fights. They're like, hey man, we owe you an opportunity to save so you can go take a dump or go to work. But yeah, I had a couple of those. So a little bit of pacing issues there. But ultimately, it's a great game. It's a great game. It was great to be with this cast again. I guess my only other issue was Crossbow. I feel like maybe because I beat From Zero and Azure, within the last year. And this game, again, takes place in Crossbell mainly. It's the main area, especially since you go to Crossbell in the Cold Steel games as well. I'm like, can we please get away from Crossbell? I get it. It's great. I love the location. I love the location. And I think they do a great job here. I'm like, damn, I'm actually going exploring Crossbell like I just did in the little 2D sprite games. But I wish they chose like a different location. But that's where all the events are happening now in this game. And I swear to God, like, if I'm going to Crossbell in the Kuro games, I mean, I'm not going to rage quit or anything. I'll just be like, God damn it. Stop it. I like Crossbell. I do. We all like Crossbell. Enough. The world, I guess their world does revolve around Crossbell. I mean, you go to so many cool areas in the Cold Steel games, and I would love to revisit Liberl, but Crossbell, I guess, is where it's at. And that's like the end dungeon is the Orcus Tower. I'm like, wasn't I just here? Wasn't I just here in Trails to Azure? Yeah, I mean, that's probably my biggest complaints. That's probably what brings this game down to probably like a 9. I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10, just because I do think it's still a great game. It's still a great Trails game. Got to hang out with my boy Crow. Crow is a bro. It's awesome. It's just an awesome game. Just awesome little moments. The voice acting is really good. I gotta say the girls kind of do sound alike. There's a lot of female casting. I mean, it's such a big cast. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them did voices for multiple characters. But the voice acting is great. Ren in Cold Steel 4 sounded super weird and just was disgusting. Yeah, she sounded like this. She sounded like very nasally. Here they gave her like a proper voice actress, probably because she's a little bit older. But I was like, oh, I like what they did with Ren here. My boy Lloyd. My only issue with the Crossbell games were fine cast, but no one really stood out besides Randy. And he was just kind of, he was the fun guy. A little bit more serious than Azure, but just seeing these characters get voice acted, they got Robbie Damon to do Lloyd, and he does a perfect job. Like, he really brings Lloyd to life. And again, Lloyd is Batman. Lloyd is Batman. He's a great detective. His parents are dead. His parents are dead, right? He's Batman. Then he has a dead brother. Everyone around him is dead. But yeah, voice acting's great. Reen, really sad at the end what happens with Reen, but not to spoil anything. It's not like something bad, and it's bad and not bad at the same time. So, like, oh my God, what happened to Reen? You got to play the game. Again, C. I think that's my biggest takeaway. Is just like, I really like C now. And there's a great moment. If you haven't played the games yet, Trails of Cold Steel 1, basically C in this game is ripping off C in Cold Steel 1. And they both meet. And it is just fun to watch. It is so fun to watch. It's like, hey, you're ripping me off, man. But yeah, I love this game. It's good. I think I'm finally going to get a break from Trails games. I still got to go beat Trails in the Sky second chapter and third. I'll probably do that next year. Then we got Nayuta Boundless Trails, but I don't think that one has anything to do with these games. But I'll probably get around to that as well at some point too. But there you have it. Trails into Reverie. Just if the series ended here, which we know it doesn't, because there's 2 other games that still need to get localized, it would be a beautiful ending. Be a beautiful ending to the series. I wonder if they thought like, yo, this is it. Why are we continuing to make games? This has ended beautifully. But I got to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Later.